Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be continuing our round previews and today we're going to be previewing round number 5. So we've got a really big video coming up. So we're going to be previewing every game here and going over who I think will be able to win every single game. So got a big round ahead. It's going to really determine a lot. Round 5 and 6 now. This is of course the Easter weekend of matches as well. So it's really exciting, of course, with the traditional Monday game as well. But let's go ahead and not waste any time and get right into the preview. So, as I said, massive round of footy coming up. Round number 5, this is really important. This is where teams really have to start getting their game together if they're lower on the ladder. And if you're higher, this is where you really got to put up your good performance to state that you are very good. Now, round number 5, we begin it on the Thursday night, 7:05 at the Gabba with Brisbane versus Collingwood. Now, this one is pretty straightforward now after Collingwood's disappointing loss to West Coast. They should have won that game, I'm going to say. They just should have. They were probably the better side. They should have won. They went inside 50 more times than West Coast, and they just could not deliver anything. And for Brisbane, well, they actually weren't too bad against the Cats. It was at GMHBA, so I'm going to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt there. I have said them by a pretty comfortable margin as well. I think I said them by 37 points. I feel like I'm pretty happy to stay with that kind of margin. And the Pies, this is the week where they've got to fix something up. If they actually contend, this will be a really important game for them. If they contend, that'll be fine. And that'll be just as much as a win, just like what North Melbourne did with Sydney last week. That was pretty much almost a win. And for the Lions, the main thing is that you don't want to get beaten by Collingwood up there. I feel like the Lions are going to be really strong. And if they get into form like they did last year, they were smashing teams by 100 points. And last outing at the Gabba, for the Lions, they smashed North by 108 points. So I have a pretty good feeling, a pretty comfortable win here for Brisbane. Now, North Melbourne versus Western Bulldogs on Friday, 15th of April. 3:50 at Marvel, or 4:20. But yeah, North, they came off some really good form against Swans last week. I feel like this one is could now turn into a 50-50. Now, the Dogs, they are a traditionally better team at Marvel Stadium. Last week, they were at the MCG. And we do know that the Dogs don't play their best at the MCG. North Melbourne, they play fantastically at SCG. And the Dogs, they were just a disappointment. The Doggies kicked 19 behinds against the Bulldogs. Against the Tigers, sorry. And then a week prior, they kicked 17 against the Swans. It did cost them last week, and I must admit, they almost deserved it in a way, if you get what I mean. Like, they were inaccurate, and it didn't cost them against the Swans when it really should have. So it does cost them here. If they are inaccurate again this game, they will lose this contest. Just how hungry North Melbourne were last week, they were fantastic. Play Zeeble again in the forward 50. You'll get use out of him, and he could kick another 5 goals, and it could be game-changing. Now, it's definitely not going to be like how these two teams met last year, 128 points smashing in the form of the Western Bulldogs, because Western Bulldogs are nowhere near as good as they were this time last year, and North Melbourne are probably better than where they were this time last year. So, I'm happy to say the Dogs. I'm happy to hold them 20-30 margin, but again, I still think North, they're going to hang. They're going to hang here for a majority of this contest, and I just feel like the Dogs will just be too strong and just have a comfortable lead, though, the entirety of the game. But North Melbourne, I feel like they'll play this one. Now, another game that could actually turn out to be a little bit more interesting than we think is West Coast versus Sydney. So West Coast returning home after their very good win against Collingwood. Now, that did really prove something to their club, and they still have plenty of inclusions yet to come. So that was really impressive, that win, and they did deserve it. They were playing quite well as well, although Collingwood did go inside 450 more. Now, Sydney, they played the Roos, and they were not very good. They played well, but, like, you get what I mean? Like, they just weren't. They should have probably won by more, in the sense that they let North Melbourne get quite close to them. But again, this one, I feel like the Swans will take this one out pretty convincingly. Swans definitely aren't the best team in Perth, as they've been beaten by the Dockers. I feel like the Eagles, though, they're just a bit of a weak team at the moment. Yes, they did do well against the Pies, but I feel like that could just be a one-off. And the Swans, they're really in top 4 contention, so I feel like the Swans will just win by, again, 20-30. St Kilda versus Gold Coast Marvel. sad day. And I feel like this one could actually be a little bit more of a contest. But again, St Kilda, they are in red hot, rock solid form right now. They are very hard to beat at the moment. They are probably in one of the best stages they've been in a little while. Gold Coast, they are also in good form right now as well. They did take a costly loss to the Giants, but they did step up against the Blues to get a 30-point win. I feel like the Saints will still win this one by, again, a 20-30 point margin. I feel like they'll just be too strong, especially at Marvel. But the Suns, there is plenty to be enjoyed about their good win. Miller got the ball, Anderson got the ball, Cho and Roses getting goals. It was fantastic for Gold Coast. And for the Saints, though, I just feel like they will be the better team. And if King, Higgins, Gresham, Hill, if they're all on fire again, watch out because it could be a smashing. Now we head to Adelaide for the Adelaide Crows versus the Richmond Tigers at 4:05 on the Saturday. Now I have tipped Richmond, but again I will say this confidently. This is going to be a close game. I feel like either team could come out and win. Adelaide, of course, is the upset win. Of course, the Tigers are the favourites, but Adelaide could definitely pull it off. They pulled it off last year against Geelong in round 1. Melbourne, this year they've done it against Port. They almost did it against Freo. And they almost did it against Essendon in games where they were probably the not favourites. They weren't favourites in the showdown, I don't think. They definitely weren't favourites against Essendon. They almost pulled it off, and they were not favourites against Freo, and they almost pulled it off. So they've been pretty good. The Tigers, they have had their disappointments and their goodness this year. They've had 2 wins at the MCG, but this is not at the MCG. They've had 2 losses as well. The 2 losses come against Carlton and St Kilda, which that St Kilda game would have been disappointing for the Tigers. And their wins coming off of a really strong win against the Western Bulldogs and a pretty decent performance over the Giants. So they're in a little bit of half-half form. I feel like the Tigers will win this one by under 10 points. So I reckon this one's going to be a close one. Melbourne GWS at the MCG. I'm going to say Melbourne. Just the form that GWS were in last week was pretty poor. They manufactured 8 goals, 6 in the West, and that's 14 scoring shots. The Dockers, they had 23. So that is disappointing when you do see a poor score like that. And to go down by about 34, I think it was, when you hung for most of the game and you just let them, you conceded 6 goals in the last half of the last term, that is devastating. And that there can cost you games as well. And then Freo go from a small win to a massive win. And Melbourne, they are the team that will hurt you. So I feel like Melbourne should be able to win this one. I've said them by 22, but I'd be feeling like this could be a bigger win than 22 points. I feel like the Demons should go bigger than 22. But again, I am pretty comfortable to hold 22 right now. Carlton versus Port Adelaide at the MCG on the Sunday. This is really interesting, this one. Really important matchup. Now, I did tip the Blues by 13, which, again, I'm happy to stay with that margin as well. We're not going to change any margins. Happy to stay with it. Just because of their performance last week was pretty bad against the Suns. And Port Adelaide, their performance was horrible against the Demons. In fact, quite lucky to only go down by 32. They should have been going down by 40, 50 at some stage, and they held them to 68. But they were extremely disappointing. And they've been disappointing in their last few outings. Like, against the Lions was probably their best game round 1. 2, they played the Hawks, which was devastating. Round 3, they played Adelaide, which was a pretty decent game for them. And then round number 4, they play and they serve up nothing against the Demons. They weren't even playing pretty much. Carlton, on the other hand, they've been really good this year. That was a slight slip up. Is this going to be the lingering thing? Are they going to actually fall and maybe not be as good, or are they going to continue to play? I feel like Carlton will still win this. I just feel like their midfield depth, even without Cripps, will still be fine. Essendon Freo, probably game of the round for me. I feel like there's been plenty of people who tipped Essendon because it's their home ground. Freo, because they've been in form. 4-10 on the Sunday at Marvel. I feel like this is a Freo win for sure, but a short margin. Not a big one. I said Freo by 7. I think I'm happy to hold 7 as well. I feel like 7 points is about correct. I feel like it's going to be nowhere, not a big win. I think it's 10 to either team, 10-point margin to either team, no matter which team wins it. Now, we've seen very close games between these two teams in the past. Cannot wait to see an extra chapter added to their rivalry, because I would almost call it a bit of a mini rivalry of how close these games do get. and I feel like it's going to be really exciting, and that's why I haven't tipped Fremantle by a drastic margin, just because it's going to be a close contest, I reckon. And both teams, Freo are in some good form. Essendon, they got their first win. Hawthorn versus Geelong MCG, this one could go either way, but more likely than not. More unlikely than likely. Hawthorn, their form last week was horrible. They just did not play well. They just let the Saints come out and smash them, and the Cats, they were good. They were impressive against the Lions, and they just showed their class. So I feel like this one is a 24-point margin for the Cats. I feel like they'll get the job done in the Easter Monday game by a convincing margin. Both teams, well, Hawthorn out of form, Cats are in form. Hawthorn look good stuff there, but that loss, that really does change things. And the Cats, I feel like they're going to be contending this year. So, back to looking at what I've tipped. I've tipped the Lions, the Dogs, the Swans, the Saints, the Tigers, the Demons, the Blues, the Dockers, and the Cats. So, no upsets this round, I don't think, unless if you want to call Fremantle one. But again, not sure if Freo is the upset. I feel like Essendon is probably the upset. But this really does test how well the Dockers are going to be playing at Marvel this year. They're going to be coming up against plenty of sides here, and this is really important. If they lose here, I feel like finals could almost be out of the equation. That game, I feel like, is really important, especially for the Dockers and the Bombers, who are looking to make top 8. So, really important. But yeah, I've tipped Sydney, St Kilda, Richmond, Melbourne, Carlton, Freo, and Geelong. So, now, one more little thing. We're going to look back at round 4. I know that we already do this so many times, but just a quick look at round 4. What does round 6 have in store for us? Let's just see. This is what round 6 has in store for us. Some big games in there. I can already point out some. Although we're going to be saving this Anzac Day as well. So 2 Monday games in a row. And round 10 and 11 has been announced. That was announced yesterday. So I felt like, why not? Why not include it in here? So this is the new fixture for round 10 and 11. The Cats hosting 2 home games at GMHB against the Power and the Crows in this time. Interesting, they've scheduled 2 Dreamtime at the G's. Well, not 2 Dreamtime. Dreamtime at the G and then the Crows and the Saints at the same time, which is quite an interesting thing. You could have probably chucked the next game on the Sunday or Thursday night if you want that to be free to air for everyone. Because I'll be watching the Crows that night, not the Dreamtime at the G. And then here's round number 11. So yeah, the Cats getting 2 home games at GMHB against both Adelaide teams in a row. And then round 12, there was 1 fixture announced for round number 12. There was 1 game announced, and that is this one will be taking place 4:05 Gold Coast North Melbourne. So that is it. Now they will go and have a look at the ladder. But this round is really important. So is round number 6. I feel like after that we'll have a clear understanding of where some teams are and how vital it'll be. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so then you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.